Mauns Stane by Anonymous. In the latter end of the autumn of 18, I set out by myself on an excursion over the northern part of Scotland, and during that time my chief amusement was to observe the little changes of manners, language, etc., in the different districts. After having viewed on my return the principal curiosities in Buchan, I made a little alehouse or public my headquarters for the night. Having discussed my supper in solitude, I called up mine host to enable me to discuss my bottle, and to give me a statistical account of the country around me. Seated in the blue end, and well supplied with the homely but satisfying luxuries which the place afforded, I was in an excellent mood for enjoying the communicativeness of my landlord, and after speaking about the cave of Slains, the state of the crops and the neighbouring Franklands, edged him, by degrees, to speak about the Abbey of Deer, an interesting ruin which I had examined in the course of the day, formerly the stronghold of the once powerful family of Cummin. P. 144, it's doubtless a bonny place about the Abbey, said he, but neathing like what it was when the great Sir James the Rose came to hide the Buchan woods. Why, the Grams rampagin at his tail, wilk you that's a buke-learned man ill hae read o, and maybe ye'll hae heard o the sawn bush where he forgathered why his Joe, or Aiblins ye may have seen for it's standing yet just at the corner o Gocket Jamie Jamison's peat-stack. Aye, the Abbey was a brave place once, but a thing ye ken comes till an end. So saying, he nodded to me and brought his glass to an end. This place, then, must have been famed in days of yore, my friend. Ye may tak my word for that, said he. Odd it was a place, sic a sight o fetched in as they had about it. But gin ye'll gan up the trap stair to the laft and open Jenny's kist, ye'll see sic a story about it, printed by ane o your learned Aberdeen's folk, Maister Keith, I think. She coughed it in Aberdeen for 12 pennies lang ago, and battered it to the lid o her kist. But gang up the stair canny, for fear that you should wakken her, pure thing, or bide I'll just wakken Jamie Fleep, and gar him help me down wit, for our stairs no just that canny for them, tease no acquaint wit, let alane a frail man why your infirmity. I assured him that I would neither disturb the young lady's slumber nor Jamie Fleep, and begged P. 140, him to give me as much information as he could about this castle. We'll wishin' your gooid health again. Our minister aunt said that Solomon's temple was in ruins, why whin bushes, and broom and thistles growin' o'er the bonny carved walk and the cedar was, just like our ain abbey. Knew I judged that the Abbey o' Deer was just the marrow oat, or the minister wadna hae said that, but when it was bigot Lord kens, for I dinna, it was just as you see it, lang afore your honour was born, and Aiblins, as the byword says, may be sae after year hanged, but that's neither here nor there. The Cummins o' Buchan were a dour and surly race, and for a fearfu' time nae near hand nor far awa could ding them, and yet mony a ane tried it. The folk on their ain land lickit them weel enough, but the Crawfords and the Grams and the Mars and the Lovets were aye trying to comb them against the hair, and mony a weary kempin had they wy them. But some way or ither they could never ding them, and folk said that they gied and learned the black art frae the Pope o' Room, whar I myself heard the minister say, had I a colleague why the old chiel. I dinna ken fu it was in the tale o' the day, the hale country raise up against them, and besieged them in the Abbey o' Deer. Ye'll see, my freen, by this time mine host considered me as one of his cronies. Though we ca' it the Abbey, it had neathing to do why, P. 146 papistry. No sae bad as a that either, but just a noble's castle, where they keep it sojers gone about in airn and scarlet, why their swords and guns, and begnets and sentry boxes, like the local militia in the barracks o' Aberdeen. Weel ye see they surrounded the castle, and lang did they besiege it, but there was a vast meat in the castle, and the Buchan folk fought like the Vera deal. They took their horse through a miscellaneous passage, half a mile long, aineth the hill o' Saplinbury, and watered them in the burn o' Pulmer. But a wadna do, they took the castle at last, and a terrible slaughter they made amo them, but they were sair disappointed in particular, for Cummins folk sank a their gowd and siller in a draw-wall, and syne filled it up why stands. They got neathing in the way of spulzie to speak o, sae out o spite they danged in the castle, and it's never been bigot to this day. But the Cummins were no sae bad as the lairds o Federat after a. And who were these Federats? I inquired. The lairds o Federat, said he, moistening his mouth again as a preamble to his oration. Troth, frae their deeds ain would may us think that they had a drap o the deal's blued, like the Piets. Gin tales be true, they hae the warmest place at his bink this Vera minute. I dinna ken Vera muckle about them though, but the oldest folk said they were just bias why cruelty. Mony a good man did P. 147, they hing up their ha, just for their ain sport. Ye'll see the ring to the fore yet in the roof, o t did ye never hear o Mauns Stane neighbour? Mauns what, said one, o Mauns Stane, but it's no likely. Ye see it was just a queer clump o, a roundabout heathen waggling maybe 2 tons or thereby. It wasna like ony o the stands in our country, and it was as round as a fitbar. I'm sure it wad ding Professor Coupland himsel to tell what way it cam there. New folk I thought there was something uncanny about it, and some gied the length o, saying that the deal used to bake gingerbread up on't, and as sure as ye're sitting there freen, there was knuckle marks upon tea, for my ain father has seen them as aften as I have teas and fingers. Aweel ye see Mons Crawford, the last o, the laird's o federat, and the deal had coosed out maybe because the laird was just as wicked and as clever as he was himsel, and ye perceive the evil ane wanted to play him a trick. New, Mons Crawford was aye day looking o'er his castle wa, and he saw a stalwart carl in black clees riding up the loanin. He stopped at this chucky o a Stane and loutin himsel. He took it up in his arms and lifted it 3 times to his saddlebow, and syne he rade awa out o sight, never common near the castle, as Mons thought he would hae done. New, says the Baron till himsel, says he, I didna think that there was ony ane in the land that could hae p. 148 played sic a ploy, but deal fetch me if I dinna lift it as weel as he did. Sae af he gied, for there wasna sic a man for burr in the country, and he kent it as weel, for he never met why his match. Weel he tried and better than tugged at the Stane, but he cowdna much it ava, and when he looked about he saw a man at his ilbuck, a smeared wye smidicum, snitern and laughin at him. The laird dee him and bade him lift it, whilk he did as gin tea had been a little pinnin. The laird was like to burst wye, rage at being fickled by sic a hagmahush carl, and he took to the Stane in a fury and lifted it till his knee, but the weight o t amiest ground his banes to smash. He held the Stane till his een-strings cracket when he was as blin as a maudywort. He was blin till the day o his death, that's to say if ever he died, for there were queer sayings about it, vera queer, vera queer. The Stane was called Mauns Stane ever after, and it was no thought that canny to be near it after gloaming, for what says the psalm I mean the sang. Tween a netbutts and Mauns Stane ilka night their walks ane. There never was a chief of the family after, the men were scattered and the castle demolished. The dew and the hoodie craw nestle aye their towers, and the hare max her form on their grassy hearthstane. Is this stone still to be seen? P. 149, oh nah. Ye see it was just upon Johnny Forbes' craft, and folk cam far and near to look at it, and tramp it down at the pure Cotterbody's corn. Sae he howk it a hole just aside it, and tumbled it until tea. By that means nobody ceased knew, but it's weel kent that it's there for their livin', yet wa've seen it. But the well at the abbey, did no one feel a desire to enrich himself with the gold and silver buried there? Hoot I mony a ane tried to find out where it was, and for that matter I've maybe done as foolish a thing myself, but nane ever made it out. There was a scholar like yoursel that gied I night down to the abbey and, ye see, he summoned up the deal. The deuce he did, said one. Weel the deuce gin ye like it better, said he. And he was gone to question him where the treasure was, but he had enoch to do to get him laid without deaving him why questions, for the deals cam about him like bees biggin out o a bike. He never curd the fright he gat but cried out, help, help, till his very enemy wad hae been we to see him, and sae he cried till he died, which was no that lang after. Folk sudna meddle why sick ploys. Most wonderful, and do you believe that Beelzebub actually appeared to him? P. 150 believe it, what for no, said he, consequentially tapping the lid of his snuff-horn. Didna my ain father see the evil ain eye the shule o old dear? Indeed. Weel, I wot he did that. A ween idle callants when the Dominie was out at his 12 hours, read the Lord's Prayer backlands and raised him, but couldna lay him again, for he threepit o'er them that he wadna gang awa unless he gat ane o them why him. You may be sure this put them in an awfu swither. They were a squallin' and crawlin' and sprawlin' ammo, the couples to get out o his grips. Ane o them gat out and told the maester about it, and when he cam down, the melted lead was runnin' aft the roof o the house why the heat, sae flingin' to the black thief a young bit kitlen o the shule mistresses. He sank through the floor why an awesome roar. I mysel have heard the mistress miscaen her man about offering up the pure thing baith soul and body to Baal. But troth, I'm no clear to speak o the like o this at sic a time o night. Sae if your honour benna for another jug, I'll e'en woos you a good night, for it's wearin' late, and I maun awa to skip a fair the mornin'. I assented to this, and quickly lost in sleep the remembrance of all these tales of the olden times.